are going away for a couple of weeks, but we have a lot of blueberries which are going to go up if we just leave them in the fridge. So here is a top tip and trick to preserve your blueberries. So as you can see, we have quite a lot of blueberries here. I have washed them and I've also dried them. And the next thing to do is I'm going to freeze them. So I'm going to put them into this glass dish here. The instructions that I read said that it should go into a baking tray, but we don't have a baking tray that is small enough to go in the fridge. So I think this is adequate. So we just set them in flat. And then we leave them in the freezer until they are completely frozen. Now they are still a little bit wet here. I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. I don't think you're going to get them totally dry, but we've left them on this paper here for about an hour and a half already, so it has soaked up a lot of the moisture. So spread them all out. Any bad ones, then just reject them, don't use them. There we go. Right, so I'm going to put these into the freezer, and Paul has prepared an area that is flat in here. Perfect. So we're going to leave those in the freezer overnight, and when we come back you will see what we do with them next. It's the next day, and here are the blueberries. Gosh, this is really cold. And look, you can actually,
oh gosh,
you can hear it, right?
Do you know what they feel like? They feel like dice.
Yeah. Now at this stage what you can do is either transfer them into separate vacuum sealed bags like this.
We put them into the small ones.
Well, it depends what you want to do.
Why don't we use the small ones?
You can do them in portions, or you can put all in here. If you do it in portions, then you would take one out each time. Put them in here. The thing is, they won't get stuck together again. They'll stay like this, so then you can just open the bag and take what you want.
Maybe we put it into individual ones, because then we don't have to like take out the whole thing, because it might stick together, right? Do you think it might?
I don't think it's going to stick together, but if that's what you want, then that's what you shall have. Alright, so we're going to do the individual bags for Paul. So I don't know how many you want to put into each one then.
I think maybe even amount.
And we use these with porridge usually. So then you just take them out, and as you need them, you could leave it in the fridge, I guess, to defrost. Or I guess if you're having porridge, the porridge might even melt them. I don't know. Or you could use it in jams. Ooh, has that always been broken? Do we have enough bags? Yes, I think it's going to be equally distributed.
I think that you could even out the other ones. Or it depends how little you want to put into each one. Does it normally take 24 hours?
Well, overnight, I suppose. Right, there's not enough for it.
You could even some of them
we'll
out.
pick one that has the fewest, maybe this one. We'll just put a few more into a couple of them. This was the first one we did, and it's got like, the really big ones in it.
And then we won't have to worry about them going off, would we?
While we're away, you see. And they'll keep for weeks now, I suppose. Put them back into the freezer, all individual, and then when we have our porridge, look, there's a week's worth of fruit all ready.
And you have even washed them, so we don't even have to do that.
Thing is, can I close these bags? There we have it.
Let's make some quick and easy breakfast in an air fryer, and this is something that I saw on Channel 5 using an air fryer special. hosted by Alexis Conrad. So the first thing we do is we take out a couple of pieces of bacon. I'm going to be making like a bit of a well, and then I will be also cracking an egg on top of that. So this is basically going to be holding it in place. So this is only the first part. The second part is cracking an egg and putting it into the center of said brioche bun, and then this would be like a nice nutritious breakfast. So let's crack. Let's hope that I don't screw this up. I'm going to be putting it in here. Let's put it on 200 degrees for 5 minutes. So fingers crossed that it comes out nice and crispy. So it should all be nice and cooked in about 5 minutes. So let's check back when it's done. Okay, let's see whether this is cooked thoroughly. Ooh. After 5 minutes, I had a look at the product in the air fryer and it still looked that it wasn't cooked. So I'm going to be putting it in for another 2 minutes and let's see how it turns out. Okay, so this looks ready now. Looks more than ready. So let's cut into it, shall we? You can see the fatty bits from the bacon and you can see the yolk. Everything is nice. And when I cut into it, it is not runny at all. So you can see that the yolk is perfectly cooked. Wow. Let's have some of the bacon. I do like the taste of the brioche bun. Like it's very, very light and fluffy still. Very, very good. I think I chose to put 2 layers of bacon in because I wasn't sure that one slice of bacon was going to hold the egg in place. It did drop off some in the bottom, but I think it maybe provided more of a cushion so that most of the egg was inside the actual brioche. But I think this is a really good and easy way to make a breakfast and it won't stink up your kitchen. Scams are on the rise and scammers are using a technique pretending to be from your bank. If they are urging you to move money into a separate account, stop and think. Banks would never ever tell you to do that. Scammers will. One way to figure out whether they are from your bank or not is to dial 159, and that spells spam. And it is a good way to check whether it is the bank actually calling about a scam or not. When you dial 159, it will take you to a automated number and the person at the end of that will ask you for the name of your bank and then you will be redirected to your bank. If you forget that number 159, just have a think and hang up the phone and be off the phone for like a minute or so without picking up any additional calls, because that will actually cut the connection between you and the scammer. I would suggest looking at the back of your bank card just to double check that the number is actually correct, because these scammers can spoof the number from your bank. So I think this is also another technique to combat the fraudsters. When you call the bank, I would suggest calling from a different number from the one that the scammers called you on, just to be certain that they aren't still on the line with you, and just to get to the bank another way.
I like nothing better than a really strong cup of tea. So I've left the tea bag in my cup for at least 5 minutes, but the water was absolutely boiling hot, as it should be when I put it in. So I don't want to be drinking such hot tea. So here's a little tip and trick for you. Remove the tea bag first of all. It did go into a bin, not the floor. Give it a stir if you've got sugar in it, and then put in your milk. Now, of course, I want a really strong cup, so I'm only putting in a dash of milk. Slightly more. Just that amount. So you can see how strong, how dark that cup of tea is. But it is far too hot for me. Now, some people can drink really hot drinks. I can't. I have to let it cool down. But if I want it quickly, what am I going to do? I could blow on it, I suppose, but I don't want to be sitting here blowing for ages. Leave the teaspoon in, if it's metal, and the heat will radiate into that spoon, and it means that your cup of tea will cool down quicker. So a lot of the heat has now gone into the spoon, and the tea should be just the right temperature for me to drink. Oh, that's a good strong cup of tea, and the temperature is just right. And yes, I do slurp it, because if you slurp your tea, it also acts as a cooling mechanism. And did you know that if you drink a hot drink like tea on a really hot summer's day, it will cool you down? It's true. Not an old wives' tale. No, my mother told me this, and no one believed me. So I looked up the details all about this, and it's true, because if you put something warm into your body on a really hot day, it will actually reduce the temperature quicker than it will if you put something cold in. Look it up yourselves, and maybe you'll try this top tip yourself this summer. Cheers, everyone.